Hey Joe fans, I'm JoeFan82 here with another action figure review. Today I'm looking at the 2019 Ninja Force Zartan figure from the G.I. Joe Collectors Club, and this guy also comes with the Cold Slither Cycle vehicle. This figure is of course based on the vintage figure from 1993, and they did a great job of replicating the vintage look for the new modern figure. Let's take a closer look at Zartan himself. This is a great looking figure. Of note, first, his head sculpt is a reuse of the G.I. Joe Trooper head sculpt, which was an inspired choice. He's got the same mohawk that the vintage figure had, although quite a bit shorter. He's got that same orange design covering his eyes. He's got a black biker vest with some orange shoulder pads, a black arm guard on his right forearm, and a brown covering on his left arm with what look like darts, and black gloves. Moving down, he's got some green pants, but these are a much darker green than the neon version we saw in the vintage figure. He's got a purple holster for his knife, and some lovely purple and black boots. Let's take a look at his articulation. His head moves from side to side, but no up and down movement to speak of. His shoulders can do a full 360 and come up about so far. His elbows can do a 90 degree, and he's got a 360 in the wrist. He's got a joint there in the midsection. He can do some ab crunches if you want. His legs come up about so far, the left one not as much. Double jointed knees, and 360 on the ankle, and no real up and down movement there. Zartan comes with several accessories, including a collapsible bow, which can collapse like that, and some arrows, which he can store on his back. One of the arrows is removable. A solid black firearm, which he holds pretty well and is nicely sculpted. A very small gray and orange knife, which he can hold in this holder on his thigh. And of course the figure stand, it says Zartan, and I think it should say Ninja Force Zartan just to separate it from the other Zartans, but this is what we got. And let's take a look at the Cold Slither Cycle. This is a reissue of the Doom Cycle that was released several years ago, and it's pretty much the same except for some color differences, and most strikingly of all, the Cold Slither logo right there. If you're not familiar with this vehicle already, it does have a few action features. On the front, there is a button on the top, which will cause some blades to pop forward. My right side blade is stuck and it won't move on its own, so I have to manually do that. That's a little disappointing. On the back, you'll notice there are some silver blades here, and there's a button right there. You hit that in and they all pop out, which is pretty cool. Some really nice sculpting on this vehicle. Gas tank and all the engine parts here really looking nice. The front has a neon green headlight, maybe a callback to his neon green pants from the vintage figure. Some rifles on the front that can pop up. The cycle does feature some actual rubber tires, which is really nice. I much prefer these over the regular hard plastic tires. If you were asking how does Zartan look on the bike, well, here you go. He looks great. He holds the handlebars well. He sits on the bike nicely. He doesn't fit too well if you put on his backpack with the arrows, but without it he fits in there really nice and looks pretty darn cool. While the figure and vehicle did not come carded or in a box, there was a file card included, and here it is. It says Master of Disguise, codename Zartan, and there's a nice picture of the artwork there on the left. It says file name unknown, uses aliases too numerous to list. Primary military specialty, infiltration. Secondary military specialty, espionage. Birthplace, Nice, France. Zartan started his military career at the St. Cyr or St. Cyr Academy, where the misguided youth was charged with treason and sent to prison. After escaping incarceration, he traveled to the Orient and became an apprentice to a ninja master. He excelled with unparalleled skills in archery and the use of edged weaponry. His reputation as an assassin led him to an encounter with Firefly and a highly paid assignment for the Cobra organization. Zartan has an unequaled prowess as a quick change artist and as a master of makeup and disguise. He's a ventriloquist, a linguist, speaks over 20 languages and dialects, an acrobatic contortionist and practitioner of several martial arts forms. It is believed that he uses holographic implants in his uniform and motorcycle to instantaneously alter their appearances. That's pretty cool. He can look like a punk rocker one minute and your best friend or fellow teammate the next. And the quote on the bottom says, "I can be anyone, anywhere. Ninja Force will never know it's me unless I wish it." Overall, I think the Collectors Club did a great job with this figure and vehicle. Considering the restrictions that they're under, I think they did a fantastic job finding parts that replicated that vintage figure look for the modern figure. I know a lot of people weren't expecting or asking for Ninja Force Zartan, but I'm sure there's a decent amount of people out there that are now wishing that they were members of the club so they could get their hands on this guy. Hey guys, as a reminder, I am sharing collection photos here on YouTube. If you would like your collection photos to be featured in one of my videos, you can send them to gijoefan82@gmail.com. Put collection photos in the subject line and put a brief description of your collection in the email and how you would like me to refer to you by your name, by your online handle if you have a YouTube or a social media account. This time we have photos from Thagon. You can find him on Twitter at Thagon238, and he focuses mostly on vintage figures. He collects figures that he had when he was a kid and characters that he just really likes. So big thanks to Thagon for sharing those with us. They look fantastic. Really nice collection you've got there. And don't forget to send your pictures in to me, and I'll be featuring different collections in my videos. So that's going to wrap up this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.